ओम शांति जागृति।
ओम शांति।
ओम शांति ऑन कर।
Hello. So your voice
Om
was
Shanti.
not. Yeah, Om Shanti.
Yeah.
So come into the sitting posture. Keep your back, neck straight, align. Remove the glasses. And gently close your eyes. Keeping your back, neck completely relaxed and aligned with your lower back. Any comfortable posture you can choose. And go into your posture. Go into your asana. Now, bring your awareness towards the natural breath, how the breath going in and coming out. Now, take a deep, prolonged inhalation, deep, prolonged, complete exhalation. Purak, Rechak. For few seconds, practice Purak and Rechak. Now, prepare yourself for the 3-time chanting along with Shanti. Take a deep, prolonged inhalation. Sham. Sham. Feel the vibration and sensation. Join your both palm. Tap your palm. Place on your eyes. Feel the warmth. Very slowly while blinking, looking at your palm. Gently open up your eyes with a great smile. Om Shanti. So yesterday we practiced the Nadi Shodhan. Nadi Shodhan, very important practice, and that is a pre-practice of the pranayama. More you are gonna practice, more you are prepared yourself for the pranayama. Okay, so today we're gonna learn the Kapal Bhati. The Kapal Bhati. This in ancient text, especially in Hatha Yoga, Pradipika and Grahan Samhita, the Kapal Bhati come under the category of Shat Karma. Have you heard about Shat Karma? Shat Karma, you heard about it? Shat Karma means cleansing practice, right? 6 cleansing practice. The literal meaning of Shat Karma, 6 cleansing practice, which you are removing the toxin. And before practicing the asana, Hatha yogis believe that one should, along with the even asana, one has to balance the 3 dosha. And for balancing the 3 dosha, one has to practice the Shat Karma. And among them, the 6 Shat Karma, one of the Kapal Bhati. But in modern yogis, they put into the category of the pranayama also. So Kapal Bhati come into the category of pranayama also, but modern times. Ancient time, it was considered to be a part of the Shat Karma, cleansing practice. Now, Kapal Bhati. Kapal means this forehead, right? We call this Kapala, right? In Hindi, in Sanskrit, we call Kapala. So Kapal Bhati. Bhati means to clean, to purify, or to something which is gonna, something which is gonna develop, something which gonna open. So Bhati is like purification, cleanness, or development. So forehead, Kapal would be purified by practicing the Kapal Bhati. Your forehead, your mind would be purified by practicing the Kapal Bhati. So name itself, giving the meaning, the Kapala Bhati, cleanliness of your mind. Cleanliness of your mind is the literal meaning. We can go for it. But Kapal Bhati have tremendous benefit, not mental level, but physiological level. As you know, here we are moving our lower abdominal part and upper abdominal part. So when movement is happening, it means the lower abdominal and the upper abdominal area would be gonna move very fast level. So when it's moving, you're increasing the blood circulation of that area, and so you get the cleaning. You are basically make that area to work in efficient way, to work in proper way, to function appropriately in a balanced form. And these areas get more oxygen. All the organs of your body, which is located in your belly and even in your lungs, every part of your organs get more oxygen, and so they will cleanse same time and they work more efficient way. Okay, efficiently they are working. And this is a physiologically a benefit. Psychologically, yes, you are sharpening your memory, strengthening your mind, and controlling over the mind. When you're doing the movement, very immediately, you're gonna see your mind is under your control. Because if mind is diverted, you cannot move your belly. So when you're moving your belly, your mind is cannot divert at all. Your mind is completely restricted. It's under your control. So not even strengthening your mind, you're improving your concentration also, and you're more focused person. Those people who are having the little bit depression, it's very good for the people who are under depression. Kapalbhati is the best thing to come out from the depression, overcome from the depression state. And it immediately give you the energy, very instant energy, like instant coffee. You heard about it, right? You drink early in the morning instant coffee, right, to get the energy. What is the use of I don't know if you like the taste black coffee, but yes, we Indian people make in our own terms, like we add so many flavors in even in the coffee, but just to get the energy, quick energy. So Kapal Bhati give you that kind of effect. Quickly you are getting the energy. Instantly you are getting the energy throughout your body and you are ready for your work. The best time for doing the Kapal Bhati, yes, empty stomach. So early morning should be done the Kapal Bhati. Evening time again, 4 5 hours before food. Your stomach should be empty completely. Then you have to do the Kapal Bhati. I don't know. There's one of my friend who went for the volunteer somewhere, and there's a one teacher who is teaching the Kapal Bhati even after having the food, and 4 5 times he's teaching the Kapal Bhati, and after meal also, before meal also. So she also get confused and she was asking to me, it's right because our belly is gonna start aching. I know it's wrong practice you are doing it. Food shouldn't be there in your stomach when you are practicing the pranayam or any part of the, especially kapal, kind of kapal bhati. This is a very strong practice. The stomach should be empty completely. I don't know why people are doing it. Even after meal, they are doing the handstand inversion. It's quite, crazy thing. You shouldn't be practicing the rest of the asana. Only Vajra asana one should practice. Only Vajra asana is, mentioned in the Asian yogi text that only one asana you can practice, that is a Vajra asana after having the food. Rest of the asana completely prohibited. You cannot practice at all. But keeping your back straight, yes, good. You can keep your back straight in Sukhasana also. You can sit into that also. But Vajrasana is helping you to digest the food properly. So also you have to understand these things, which you have to do it and which you don't have to do it. Okay. So empty stomach one has to do the Kapalbhati. And again, if you have the Vayu Prakop, it's like Vat is dominant in your body, and this is this teaching given by the yogi Anupji, and he said that Kapal Bhati increase the vat in the body. So Kapal Bhati increase the heat in the body and increase the vat in the body. Are you getting it? So only kapha people, those who are having the kapha dominant, only those can practice the Kapal Bhati. Rest of the people cannot practice the Kapal Bhati. Kapal Bhati cannot, you cannot just prescribe to everyone. There's lots of precaution one has to take practicing the Kapal Bhati. Till Nadi Shodhan, we talked about it, no precaution at all. Just close your eyes, you can teach these things without taking any considering what kind of dosha it is or what kind of problem. No, everybody can practice. But now precautions start. Major precaution come when you are introducing the Kapal Bhati to your student. Not all people can practice the Kapal Bhati. It gonna increase the vat, it increase the heat in the body. So it means when pitta is increased and vat is increased, and if you are practicing, it means it's gonna become the harmful practice for them. So very much important, before introducing you have to go through your understand the students and tell them if they feel heat something, or if they have constipation or indigestion, these kind of symptoms, or they feel blotting issue, so they should avoid the Kapal Bhati. But 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 I'll teach you the safe practice. Okay, so there's a three types of the gati in the Kapal Bhati. So the Ramdev Baba Kapal Bhati, right? Fast version of the Kapal. He does beautifully the Kapal Bhati, very fast pace. But that Kapalbhati guna should not be practiced by all kind of people, right? So Madhyam Gati and Manda Gati. These are another. These are three types of the Gati when we gonna practice the Kapalbhati or Bhastrika Pranaya. When I'll gonna teach. So you can write it down three types. Madhyam, first is a Manda Gati, Madhyam Gati, and Tivra Gati. First is Manda Gati, M Manda Mandagati, Gati, Mandagati, Madhyam Gati. You all are Indians, so you can write it down, right? I shouldn't we need to spell everything. So you can write down in Hindi also. Write down Hindi and then write it down later on English. So Mandagati means slow gati, slow pace. Okay, Mandagati. Madhyam Gati means medium pace. Then Tivra Gati means fast pace. Fast pace. So three kind of variation you can go for the Kapalbhati. Though there's a there's a three types of Kapalbhati, but that is not included in your course. But just gonna tell you the name. Just there's other two types, Sheetkam and Vyutkam Kapalbhati. That is another kind of Shat Karma. But we're gonna practice this, the Vata Karma. This is called Vata Karma Kapalbhati also. Okay, another name for Kapalbhati, Vata Karma Kapalbhati. Vatarma, Vata Karma Kapalbhati. Another name. Okay, another name for the Kapalbhati, Vatakam Kapalbhati. So the first technique, that is the first gati, first pace, the Mandagati, everybody can practice. So if you gonna introduce the Kapalbhati, you're gonna introduce with the very first step of the Kapalbhati, the first stage of the Kapalbhati, that is a Mandagati, slow version of the Kapalbhati, very slowly. And even if you are practicing, you have to also practice with the slow version of the Kapalbhati, not fast. You cannot jump into the fast because your body is not ready right now. Instead of getting the benefit, you're gonna harm yourself. Okay, so these precaution, now if precaution, another precaution is, if somebody is pregnant, menstruation time cycle in female, uh, moon cycle is going on, and constipation is there, hernia is there, and ulcer, if somebody is suffering from peptic ulcer or indigestion, any kind of surgery related to the lower abdominal part or upper abdominal part or back related problems, somebody having it, back issues, disc herniation or back related issues, somebody having it, they completely restricted to practice the Kapalbhati. And as also I said that if Pitta and Vata is increased, they shouldn't be practicing the Kapalbhati, right? But Mandagati version, they can practice. Okay, Mandagati version, they can practice it along with the Vayu Mudra. So Vayu Mudra, so you have to use your index finger and roll the base of the index finger, tuck at the base of the thumb. So this way you're gonna make the Vayu Mudra. Okay, this is the Vayu Mudra. So you have to introduce the Mandagati of the Kapalbhati with the Vayu Mudra. So rolling your index finger, again I'm showing off to you, rolling your index finger and tucking at the base of the thumb and stretch the rest of the finger straight. And you feel a little bit stretch here, right? You feel. So this is the Vayu Mudra. Along with the Vayu Mudra, if one person is practicing the Kapalbhati, so they can control the Vat in their body. Yes, there's a even fatal disease. Kapalbhati work tremendously when there's a fatal disease, cancer, tuberculosis. They even HIV, they infected by it. Their immune system is completely down, and their Jataragni is no more, completely, extinguished. In that time, Kapalbhati worked wonderful. It's like a Ramban. Ramban, what you call in English? I don't know what you call Ramban. It's like a. mm, if anybody gets
Always works. Always works.
always work, yeah, it always work, right? So it's like a great remedy for these fatal problems where there is no cure. But yes, they have to follow the duration. They have to prolong the Kapalbhati for longer period of time, and so they can regenerate their body organs, regenerate their body cells by just practicing the Kapalbhati along with the Nadi Shodhan. Even just if cancer patient, any kind of cancer, if person is suffering, especially the third, fourth stage, not the last stage. In last stage, it's very difficult to, do the treatment. But yes, again, you can extend their lifespan, but again that is a painful thing. But till third to fourth stage, if they're practicing the Kapal Bhati along with the Nadi Shodhan, oh, you cannot imagine. There's many research, we did the many research over these things, and the wonderful result coming out that they again get the new life. They again get the new life, and their immune system work. The immune system is work efficiently and more in proper way, wonderful way. So only these two practice I'm talking about it. Not so many things one has to practice. Only these two practice. If you get the command over it and become the master over these two practice, I think many diseases you can prevent. Many diseases you can prevent. So because Nadi Shodhan, you can get the opening. You are working on the pranmaya kosha. Your all the nadis would be open. If there is no blockage at all, it means you're gonna increase your lifespan. And then a Kapalbhati, it's gonna work on your immune system. So, and Ayurveda talks about it. What too strong to make your immune system very strong. Everything, whatever the medicine, the and all the therapy is working to increase, to boost your immune system. Okay, everything is working on to improving and boosting your immune system. So only these two practice, if you introduce to any kind of people, just take these kind of precaution. After that, they can recover from any kind of fatal disease. Okay, so these things one has to consider. Best asan for the Kapalbhati is Vajrasan. Vajrasan, because your back remains straight, and keeping your back straight in Kapalbhati is so much important. Very much important. You cannot slightly even bend. So alignment play very important role when one practicing the Kapalbhati. Otherwise, it will increase the back pain. It will give you the back issue. Okay, so very much important. So Vajrasan is a very effective asan for practicing the Kapalbhati, ideal pose. But if somebody cannot sit, even the chair, on sitting on the chair, they can practice the Kapalbhati. If somebody is having the knee issue or any injury, or uh, I know there's a many version of Kapalbhati going on. People are practicing in standing position, supine position, even prone position, in plank pose, in downward dog. I don't know why they are doing it. Maybe they want to just get the fat removed from their body. So another benefit of doing the Kapalbhati, you get the flat belly, completely, completely what very, flat kind of abs, or what you call biscuit or something like that. So 6 pack or something, 8 packs you will get by practicing the Kapalbhati. It's tone your belly completely, but the good tone, right? Especially in female. In female, you don't require much tone. you require a little bit softness around your belly, right? You don't require the abs. Even in the men, you doesn't require it, but people are crazy about the abs. So they are doing it. That's another different thing, but you require little bit fat around your belly. So that little bit fat is you get it by practicing the Kapalbhati, and rest of the fat would be removed slowly and gradually by practicing safe version to reduce the belly fat. Okay. So the idle pose, as I told you, the Vajrasana. Okay. Otherwise, you can choose the Sukhasana, another thing, but we're gonna practice into the Vajrasana and keeping your back straight. And another, keep in your mind that below your navel region. Okay. So when you choose your posture below your navel region, you have to flap like up and down, like this. Flapping gonna happen in your lower abdominal part. So your focus and your concentration should be around your lower abdominal part, not upper. Upper gonna move automatically, okay? But lower part you have to focus on. Lower belly part you're gonna focus on, and make sure keep the hand on your back also. Your back shouldn't be moving. So that's why we are starting with the Mandagati Kapalbhati. So your back remains straight and relaxed. Your back shouldn't be moving fast. When you start with the fast, you start moving your back also. It gonna move your back also. Back remains straight and relaxed. You are just moving your lower part of your belly, and you are focusing on that. Contraction is going on in your lower belly part. Okay, this you have to keep in your mind when you're practicing. So let's start practicing. Come into the Vajrasana. Now it said that at least in 1 minute, 60 rounds should be, one has to do, but that is advanced level. You have to flap according to your pace. In initial level, you have to flap in your comfortable zone, and very slow version you wanna do. So because we are learning the technique also, and we are want that our belly should be habitual of these things. So Mandagati Kapalbhati is safe for everyone, and you are getting the benefit along with it, right? Without hurting yourself, anything. Okay. So once the technique is clear to you, you can go to the Mandagati to the Madhyam Gati. But eventually, not forcefully, eventually you're going to go for it when your body is even comfortable. When you're practicing the Madhyam Gati, the mid from Mand to the Madhyam Gati, it means little fast, then the slow version, very slow version, then you come to the medium mode. Okay. So once you are comfortable, keep your back neck straight and follow my instruction. Close your eyes completely. Make sure when you're sitting on the Vajrasana, your toes should be overlapped or touching each other. Big toes. Resting your palm on the knee, completely relax. Either you can make Vayu Mudra if you have for safe to go into the safer zone. You make the Vayu Mudra, rolling your index finger. Yes, good. And tucking at your base of the thumb. Palm facing towards your ceiling and keeping your rest of the fingers straight. Once you're comfortably fit, check your back. Check your alignment of your pelvic, little bit lifted up and little bit contracted your pelvic region, your lower abdominal part, and see your back. It shouldn't be having the arch or strain, just straight. Once you get the alignment of your back and back is completely relaxed, and you go into your pose and your mudra is set, the Vayu Mudra. Now, very slowly, Gently close your eyes. Observe your posture, how you are sitting, how's your back. Chin parallel to the ground, shoulder relaxed, palm facing towards the ceiling. Observe your alignment. Now, pay attention towards deep, prolonged inhalation, deep, prolonged exhalation. Inhale and exhale for a few seconds. So your mind, your body would be ready for the Kapalbhati, Mandagati. Allow your mind to connect with each breath. Now, take a deep, prolonged inhalation. Have to exhale and contract your belly, lower abdominal part. Make sure only lower abdominal part you are focusing for contraction. Inhalation is happen passively, exhalation happen actively. So inhale very slowly. Inhalation you just happen automatically to you. Exhalation you put effort into the exhalation, and contracting when you're exhaling, contract your lower part of your belly. Make sure your back remains straight and relaxed. Do not, even you can check by placing your hands front and back. One hand you can place on your lower abdominal part and one hand at your back, and observe which part is moving. Only your belly should be moving, your lower abdominal part, below the navel part, you're gonna move, and back remain straight and relax. That much slow you have to go. That Mandagati, Kapalbhati you have to practice. By hand, you are just in order to feel that which part of body you're moving and which you are not. Otherwise, keeping your Vayu Mudra and relaxing on your knee. Once you feel, once you correct it, the observation, your concentration below the navel region. Upper part automatically gonna move, but you are not focusing on the upper abdominal part. Below the navel part, you are focusing and concentrating. For contraction should be happen below the navel region. That's you have to keep in your mind. And very slow version, not fast at all, not moving any part of your body. And face should be little smile on your face. Do not get tense. Anytime you get tired, relax, come back to your abdominal breathing. Abdominal breathing is a pre-practice of the Kapalbhati. So abdominal breathing you can practice, and again, once you relax, again you can start your Kapalbhati, Mandagati. Completely focus. Don't lose your body, your alignment. You shouldn't be dropping your neck. Anytime you get tired, you can come back to your abdominal breathing. Mind should be completely connected with the movement of your belly, fully focused. Now take your own time. Take your own time to complete your round. And come back to your normal breathing. Come back to your normal breathing. Take your own time. Now take a deep, prolonged inhalation and exhalation. Deep inhale, slow exhale. Now take a deep, prolonged breath for the Om. 3 times Om and Shanti. Inhale for the Om. Shanti. 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 Feel the vibration and sensation Join your both palm. Rub your palm. Place on your eyes. Feel the warmness. Very slowly while blinking, looking at your palm. Gently open up your eyes with a great smile. Om Shanti. So, any doubt, any queries, any difficulty related to the today practice, the Kapalbhati?
है ना, थोड़ी थोड़ी टाइम में झटके तो लग ही जाते हैं, मतलब फास्ट थोड़ा आ ही जाता था।
हाँ, क्योंकि आदत बना हुआ। आपने पहले प्रैक्टिस किया है क्या कपालभाति?
कपालभाति करते लेकिन वो फास्ट वाला, ये
हाँ।
नहीं करते।
अब नहीं करना। अब नहीं करना, क्योंकि बैक पे झटके आ रहे हैं। तो बैक जब आप फास्ट कर रहे हो तो बैक मूव हो रही है, राइट? तो वो नहीं होनी है। मतलब इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग आपको कंट्रोल होना चाहिए आपके एब्डोमिनल मसल्स पे कि सिर्फ वो मूव हो, आपके बैक की मसल्स मूव ना हो। तो वो लाने के लिए आपको मंद गति से जाना होगा। ओके, रामदेव बाबा जी तो ही इज वेरी ग्रेट योगी, सो उनको कंपैरिजन नहीं कर सकते। तो हम तो अपने पेस से जाएंगे, राइट? To reach there, we required many years of the practice. So the technique is like that. Okay, fast version, lots of precaution. Okay, lots of precaution is come. Even madhyam gati, again, you cannot take risk. But mand gati, everybody can practice with the Vayu Mudra. Okay, this is a safe version of practice which you can introduce to anyone. But yes, menstruation time, you cannot move your belly. In pregnant time, again, you cannot move your belly. So these two major precaution one has to take. But yes, if somebody is having constipation, little indigestion, and these things, the mandagati not give the lots of side effect. It's gonna soothe those area, make those muscles very strong. Very giving the little massage. It's kind of little massage to those area. So it's not giving them any side effect. Okay, but yes, if somebody pregnant or menstruation time is going on, not even the mandagati, they are not gonna practice. Okay.
वन मोर थिंग, ये जब हम कर रहे थे ना, तो खाली ऐसा नहीं है कि वही एरिया में इफेक्ट था, मणिपुर चक्र तक मुझे इफेक्ट लग रहा था। ऐसा ऐसा लग रहा वहां भी समथिंग इज गोइंग ऑन।
चक्रस बहुत आगे चले गए आप जागृति जी।
तो स्वादिष्टान में जहाँ हम कंसंट्रेट करते हैं ना, मुझे वहां पे फीलिंग आज।
चक्रस की बात नहीं करेंगे अभी। अभी तो बहुत बेसिक लेवल पे। चक्र इज अ वेरी हायर लेवल। हठ योगीज ये लास्ट में जा पाता है। जितने भी आप ये सब प्रैक्टिस करें, अभी सोचना भी नहीं। ये मीडिया है, ये आजकल का मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड है which talked about the chakras lot, but it's very dangerous. You shouldn't be thinking about it. Don't take name of it. It's very dangerous practice.
राइट,
Okay.
नहीं कर रही हो ना, मुझे वो जानना था कि मेरा ये प्रैक्टिस तो गलत नहीं हो रहा है ना, क्यों मुझे वहां इफेक्ट आ रहा है लोअर?
नहीं तो क्यों इफेक्ट आ रहा है वो तो वहां जाएगा ही। आपकी एब्डोमिनल मसल्स पे आपको ध्यान रखना है, और उस मसल्स पे आपकी स्पाइन में चक्रास लोकेटेड है। आपने नाम सुना हुआ है कि चक्रा का लोकेशन यहाँ है, तो मन में वो चल रहा है। माइंड तो
ऐसा नहीं है दुर्गेश जी, हम लोग वो वाला है ना मेडिटेशन रोज हरिओम वाला, तो इसलिए मुझे ना वो उसकी तो आदत है और वो फील करते हैं। तो इसमें ना मुझे वहां पे सेंसेशन आ रहे थे, तो मेरे को लग रहा है कि मैं कुछ गलत नहीं कर रही हूँ ना, इसलिए मैंने पूछा।
नहीं गलत नहीं होगा। बट आपकी मेडिटेशन में चक्रास पे कंसंट्रेशन कराते हैं। Okay. तो फिर तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते। आपके गुरु होंगे जिन्होंने आपको दिया होगा।
आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग हम लोग है ना, श्री श्री रविशंकर जी।
ठीक है, बट हठ योग में ऐसे नहीं जाते हैं। हम सीधे चक्रास को इन्वॉल्व नहीं कर सकते। योग का मार्ग ऐसे नहीं जाएगा, योग का मार्ग स्टेप बाय स्टेप जाएगा। ये ध्यान मार्ग होता है, जो ध्यान में जो ध्यान योगी बनते हैं, जो फर्स्ट सेकंड स्टेजेस ऑलरेडी अचीव किया होता है उन्होंने। अगर आप चेक कर लो, अगर आप कपालभाति करेक्टली कर पाते, अपनी टेक्निक देख लो कि आपकी ब्रेथ सही जा रही है, रिदमिक है, तो आप ध्यान योग के लायक हो। आप सीधे चक्रास पे जा सकते हो। आपकी ब्रेथ अगर आपकी ट्यून है, पर अगर वो ट्यून नहीं है तो आप चक्रास मेडिटेशन के लिए अभी प्रिपेयर नहीं है, जो इंक्लूड हो रहा है। ठीक है, वो आप नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि उससे पहले आपकी ब्रेथ रिदमिक होनी बहुत जरूरी है। आपकी ब्रेथ में रिदम होना चाहिए, और उसमें भी एक्सलेशन पार्ट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। ओके, सो ये साइंस से हम जाते हैं। तो हठ योग ऐसे अप्रोच करता है। बट अगर आपके गुरु ने आपकी कैपेबिलिटी देखी होगी, जो भी आपके गुरु है, अब क्योंकि आजकल वो टाइम नहीं रहा कि गुरु पर्सनली एक एक को देखे, उतना टाइम नहीं है। हजारों की जनसंख्या, उनकी भी गलती नहीं है। तो पहले अपने आप को ऑब्जर्व कर लो, आर यू एलिजिबल फॉर प्रैक्टिसिंग दोस काइंड ऑफ मेडिटेशन। पहले खुद चेक कर लो, नहीं हो तो इमीडिएटली छोड़ दो, क्योंकि साइड इफेक्ट ज्यादा होंगे, डेंजरस प्रैक्टिस है। मन जाएगा क्योंकि आपने सुना है, देखा है, मन वहां स्टक हो जाता है। जब भी हम सिद्धि रिलेटेड कोई भी शब्द सुनते हैं, whenever we heard related something, power related things, kundalini shakti or chakras, it's become very popular right now, and it's so much confusing for today generation that they don't know it's very dangerous practice also if you do not handle with proper care. If you don't understand the science, you need to understand the base of it. You have to make your body first to capable of holding that much power. It's more like have you seen the how the electricity going in your fan and your tube light, right? Increase the power of the electricity to that tube light and the fan. What gonna happen? It gonna blast, right? It gonna fused. Because the body of the fan and the body of the tube light is not capable of holding that much power. So you have to first make your body capable to holding that power. To generate the power is quite easy. If you directly practicing the Kundalini yoga or certain kind of Dhyan yoga, you can activate these chakra. The chakra is gonna come into the balance state, and you can activate those chakras. But your body is fragile. Your body is weak. Your body is not capable, and those people get into the hallucination, illusion, because they lost the there's a very thin line between the reality and the dream. They start seeing the dream, there's so many things they can hear, and they end up with the madness. That's what I'm saying. That's why these kind of practice is very dangerous. So I'm not pointing out that your guru teaching is wrong, no, not at all. But you have to be capable of to holding the teaching of the guru. So make yourself capable. How you gonna check your breathing is okay or not, is rhythmic or not, your pranayam practice is going on in the effective level or not. If they are perfectly correct, then you can practice. Otherwise, hold that practice, prepare your body first, prepare your mind, make yourself eligible, and then go for it. Am I clear, Jagriti?
Yeah, very much. Thank you.
So keep these things in your mind. Do not lost, because outside things going on, tantra yoga, is yeah,